So for our software development class in graduate school, we used Mendix, which is a low-code platform. You can create like any kind of application that you want, and this is the website application in this case. One of the problems that a lot of professors were facing during the pandemic is that during Zoom, you cannot really count the participation of students, so you don't know how many times they raised their hands, what kind of feedback they left, or anything like that. So you just have access to the chat after the Zoom meeting ends. So we wanted to create an app where we could actually see how students are participating and have actual metrics in time. So right now I'm just logging in as Professor Ahmed. So one of his classes is CIS 605, and I'm just gonna manage course settings. So this allows me to add how many times in seconds the student's hands needs to be raised for it to be tracked. And I am placing 5 seconds over here. The default is actually 10, but just for the purposes of running this and leaving the hand up for 5 seconds. So I'm just going to join the class right now. And you can see that from here, it's like, welcome to the CS 605. This is class number 10. It's been running this iteration for a long time right now. And there is a set of discussion topic, new question if you want a poll, and you can see like who joined the class. So right now, nobody has joined the class, but I will join 2 students in my tablets that I have over here. So in my classes, so this person has 3 classes assigned, and I'm just going to join the 605. So Jane right now it's in, so you can see her participating over here, and you can see like how many times she has participated in this current class, which is 0 right now, and the total term she has participated 9 times. And I will also join another student, Alice, and he will also appear in the professor's screen. In his screen, actually only Jane appears, but professor's screens, you can see Jane and Alice Yoder. So right now I want Jane to actually raise her hand. So I'll just press the raise hand button in her side, and you can see that automatically the hand got raised. And if I leave it up for 5 seconds, and if she lowers it later, then the current class will change from 0 to 1, meaning that she already participated once. So as you can see, it changed to 1. The same I can do with Yoder, and also I can enter a current topic. So some professors are interested to have students participate for a specific topic in class. In this case, I will set the discussion topic to, let's say, agile development.
Also, on Tuesday, we're supposed to be exhibiting on Tuesday around.
So we have agile development, and the tracking will start now specifically for this topic, because we are interested to know how many students will participate when discussing agile development. And in that case, Alice already has his hand up, so it will count as if he participated in this one. So we'll just lower his hand and raise Jane's hand and his hand as well, and I'll leave it up for 5 seconds so you can see the metrics later on that it's actually happening. And I could also pause the tracking if, for example, we have a break, a 10-minute break, and we don't want to see, we don't want to count hand raising in that session. So we just want to count it when actually people are participating when we are discussing this current topic.
Okay, so the professor would note something in the class that switches it so that it's, you know, that you're talking about agile programming, and then only then would it count those hand raises towards agile programming. Is that right? Oh, okay.
Yes. So you could pause the tracking and you could resume the tracking over here as well. So every time the hands will go up during this time that you have set a discussion topic and you have started tracking it, that's when it will count like who were the students who participated talking about this specific topic, because he's interested to know how many of them knew how to respond to specific questions related to agile development in this case. But you can pause at any time if you don't want to track anymore for this, or you can set another discussion topic. Another one is the new question for voting in this case. So if you do the voting questions, have you been to CIS Sandbox, for example? So, and I'll just save that. Right now, nobody voted. So 2 people are in class, nobody voted. And then I vote on each of these persons. So let's say yes, for, I guess this is Jane, and it will appear in the screen of the professor. And here Alice will say no, that he hasn't been. So Alice cannot see Jane's vote right now. And also Jane cannot see Alice's vote, but the professor can see both of their votes over here. And he can share the results if he wants to, or he can just keep it anonymous, and he doesn't want anybody to see who voted what. So in this case, I'll just share the results. So their screens, the student screens right now have both votes. So Jane can see that Alice voted no, and Alice can see that Jane voted yes. So I can end the vote over here, so they stop voting. I can see the question history if I have a lot of questions that I asked, and I can view the responses and see who voted and what did they vote. I also can add a feedback. So some professors don't really want to keep track of the chat all the time during the class, and they just want to know, for example, what was the most important question that was asked in the chat. So let's say Jane, in this case, she wants to add a feedback asking when is the exam. So this is an important question. If it's not in the syllabus, for example, then professor will just receive it as a notification. Actually, okay, I wrote exam with several M's. But yeah, hopefully I'll just save it over here. Okay, so it got saved and it came back to the professor's screen as 1, meaning that he already got a feedback, but he can just leave it over there and not open it. However, he opened it and he wants to place it 3 stars because he wants this comment to be up above any other comment that comes in. So if anything else comes in from Alice or anybody else in the class, then if it's not a very important question, that it will not pop up at first, like in the first, it's not going to be sorted basically. So yeah, I think this is kind of a major, like just an explanation in general terms of how the application works. But this is also just the MVP, like it's a prototype for now. It was done through a coursework, so it was 10 weeks, and we were divided in different groups. We did it in a Scrum format, so every 2 weeks we would just deliver something and we would demonstrate it in class. And all the features that are part of this app were kind of requested by our client, which in our case was our professor. So yeah, at the end we were just able to develop this through Mendix, which is low code, as I mentioned in the beginning, and it was easy to do it just because you were able to kind of drag it up and have this infrastructure and this interface already created by Mendix. So we didn't really have to do all the HTML or anything like that. That would take a lot longer to develop than this application right here. And I am open for any questions that you have.
I have a question. So did your professor ever use it in class?
So we did use it at the end when we had our, but not technically in class. It was mostly just for us to understand how software development works in an actual format that you'd face it in the workplace. And this class was very helpful for me because I did an internship the next summer. And I used specifically this kind of agile methodology, the Scrum. And we also delivered an MVP at the end that had all the features required by our clients. So this was mostly for us to understand how to develop, but he also wanted to do a project that is real and that it could be used if, like if you add additional things, because right now there are some things missing and, it would be, it's not really real time all the time. So, it needs a lot more work than it currently has, but the base is there. But I'm not sure, actually, that is a very good point. I hope like this time, maybe next week when this is available, and then we'll is more and may just be able to use it afterwards.
Very cool.